Hello, I'm Ian and I play with drones, and as most of you know, I've been playing with the new Mavic 3 that I bought a few weeks ago. Last week I put up a video on why this drone seems so easy to crash, with countless videos from experienced pilots who have managed to crash this drone. In that video I gave two main reasons. One, the very sensitive sticks with a disproportionate level of movement for even the slightest of touches, and two, the way the APAS obstacle avoidance system works and how it can catch you out with its sometimes exaggerated movement for obstacles that are still a good 6 to 8 feet away even when you're flying slowly. Today is all about the obstacle avoidance system and how, despite its pretty incredible performance, it has, I think, two flaws, including a major blind spot and, more crucially, a display issue that can very easily cost you your drone, which you'll note is not sitting here on my desk today. So look, after last week's small crash, I did loads of testing over the following few days, seeing just how much it could cope with, trying to force the drone through crowded parts of the garden with loads of overhanging trees, many with just bare twigs, and to be honest, I was mighty impressed. To me, it is really, really good stuff, especially considering that some of the paths were forcing it to avoid multiple obstacles, one after another, forcing it to veer left then right in order to keep on flying. But, as I said, two big issues. First is fairly straightforward, it's coverage of the sensors. This was actually mentioned to me by one of my subscribers, Blair Air, who put up a little video, which I'll link to below, showing you on page 20 of the Mavic 3 user manual, where you can see the large blind spot of the sensors rising in an upwards cone facing forwards. This is worse when you consider that your drone pitches forwards, sloping down when flying forwards, which means this blind spot is literally a 3 to 5 foot cone stretching out directly in front of the drone, which may well explain why it's been programmed to be so jumpy about things when they're still a fair distance away when you're flying slowly. Now look, I know many would say, myself included to be honest, that anyone who relies on obstacle avoidance in everyday flying is frankly asking for a crash. And of course you should be flying way up high above obstacles. To me, the obstacle avoidance system really is there as an emergency failsafe. But, and there is a pretty big but here, the main DJI promo video shows the Mavic 3 flying through woods, working its way around trees. And this is absolutely the whole point of the APAS system, allowing you to fly the drone knowing that it'll bypass obstacles as it flies. And here is where things can go wrong fast. Does it pick up single twigs? Not always. Power lines? Probably not. So from the start, it's always going to be a bit of a gamble. But to me, the biggest issue is with the display when the obstacle avoidance is failing due to low light. On the second day of testing, it was overcast and cloudy. Late afternoon, but still way before sunset. And this, to me, is what can really catch you out, because when I was positioning the drone, getting it all set up for the shot, the obstacle avoidance is flashing up on the screen and you can see it and you can hear it with its low beeping. Everything is ready for me to repeat my testing and you can see the amber and the red everywhere, so everything is fine. Suddenly, this message pops up telling me the ambient light is too low and the obstacle sensing system is unavailable. But within a few seconds, that message is gone. Bam. And sadly, in those brief seconds, I was looking at the drone, not the screen, trying to line up the shot. Not only did I not see the message, it disappears without trace after just a few seconds. Now, as I'm lined up, I get ready to start the shot, and you can see the only thing now that is showing you that something is wrong is this tiny, small indicator in the top right. In fact, you've still actually got, it looks like some obstacle avoidance indicator pointing down, which is obviously the ground positioning system. So with very unlucky timing, I immediately tried to repeat the exact same test that I had the day before. Off I go and bang! No effort to avoid the bush, no braking, no bypass. It flies straight into it and it is well and truly crashed. Now look, I will admit, just like before, this crash is totally my fault. I was the one flying at the tree. I was the one testing the obstacle avoidance to see how well it could perform and pushing it to the limit. So this is all down to me. But to me, the display could be an awful lot clearer. You don't look at the screen all the time when you're flying. You shouldn't. That's the whole point of VLOS. So if the OA system is switching off due to low light, then this needs to be splashed all over the screen so it's impossible to miss, telling you in no uncertain terms to watch out. It's working 1 second, then stops the next. So you have a blind spot reaching out in front of the drone, and you also have an obstacle avoidance system that can switch off at the drop of a hat with the briefest of warnings. So to me, sorry, right dog's breakfast. Sadly, unlike the other day when it landed on long grass, this time it landed on normal short grass, and despite it only falling about 8 feet, here is the result. A broken leg and some major power-up errors that has meant it has had to go in for repair. And on that, I have to say, it's all a bit crap now in the UK, to be honest. Sending it over to the European DJI Centre in the Netherlands now, of course, counts as international shipping, which needs customs forms, extra postage, extra insurance to cover the value of the item being posted. And what's worse is it will very often result in import duties again when it's returned, despite it being your product that you had already bought in the first place. I mean, usually in the UK, you can use HeliGuy or Drone Doctor for full DJI certified repairs, which avoids all of this rubbish. But because it's such a new model, of course, there are no spare parts out there at the moment. So I have indeed had to send it back to DJI in the Netherlands. That's where it is now, and hopefully I will get it back at some point soon. So the message here is do not rely on the obstacle avoidance as a matter of course, and definitely don't be relying on it if it's anything other than bright daylight, especially if you're flying under trees that are blocking out some of the daylight from above. But look, that's it for today. Hopefully this is going to help someone somewhere avoid this type of crash. Hopefully DJI may change things so that the display does flash up for a little bit longer and more obviously when the OA system is switched off. But as I said before, look, I take the hit on this. Remember, I'm testing these things so that you don't have to. And of course, I know these tests run a higher risk than everyday flying, and I half expect this sort of thing to happen, but it would be good to get this display thing sorted, I think. Anyway, look, as ever, if you find this useful, do give me a little thumbs up. Or if you're feeling really sorry for me, you can even buy me a beer or coffee in one of the links below, as I'm footing the bill for this repair now as well. But look, it's all part of the course. I'm still smiling. So look, whatever you do, wherever you are, till next time, have fun, happy flying.